This is lab 2, magnetic field of a bar magnet. The purpose of this experiment is to measure the distance dependence of the magnetic field due to a small bar magnet and compare the measurements to the distance dependence predicted by the equations for the on and off axis magnetic fields derived from the Biot-Savart law. A computational model is created to calculate the magnetic field, and a physical model using a magnetometer app is used to calculate the magnetic field. And here is a preview of those results, both magnetic field results. And we'll look at how we got here. Fundamental physics principles, the Biot-Savart law, magnetic field of a dipole formula, and the relevant bar magnet formulas for those calculations. And you'll see in a second how those were sort of manipulated to get us to where we need to be. For the physical model, the system is the bar magnet. The surroundings are the floor and the room. The initial conditions, the bar magnet, the magnetometer app, the measurement tools, and the blank Excel spreadsheet. For the Excel spreadsheet for the physical model, when the steps that were outlined in the instructions were completed, these data points were entered into the yellow. You can see how some of the formulas were manipulated to get our mu value of 3.108 for the physical model. And then part 2 for the calculations for the Excel spreadsheet physical model. For the off-field axis, you can see that we got a B-net value of 5.72 times 10 to the negative 6. Quick observation, as the magnetometer moves closer to the bar magnet, the X component of the magnetic field increases. It increases more rapidly the closer it becomes. So, computational model, initial conditions, the mu value that we got right here, 3.108, that's coming back into the initial conditions for the computational model, and then the formula here for under this red box, in this red box, for the function for the magnetic field, and you can see how that code was written. And then same thing, similar visual here where you can see the remainder of the code that had to be edited to get us a visual picture of what we want to see with the magnetic field on the last part of the GlowScript code, or of the GlowScript visual. And so here's the last of that code, and then the actual visual here, and then you can see the magnetic field, which we need to take the magnitude of to actually see what is our result to compare to the physical model. So looking at the physical model magnetic field is that value. Computational model field, like I said, by taking the magnitude is that value. It is larger. The computational model result is larger, which is interesting, and most likely more accurate, just given some of the sources of error potentially with the physical model, which I'll talk about in the next slide. And then here are 2 assumptions. But as far as the sources of error, it's just difficult to ensure that the physical model results are fully accurate given what is happening in the surrounding environment. You have, if you're in a house, you maybe have other electronic devices nearby, you have other magnetic devices nearby that can impact the results. And then also, if you adjust the angle of the cell phone by accident, or the ruler or the magnet shifts during the experiment, that can also impact the results. And then finally, what if? What if this experiment were not set up to compensate for the magnetic north? The results would be inaccurate. Simply put, Earth's magnetic field would interfere with the bar magnet's magnetic field. And if the experiment were completed with 2 identical magnets, it should be pretty similar. The main difference being that the magnitude of the magnetic field would double.